Welcome to Volatility 411 for Equity Armor Investments. I'm Joe Tigay. Let's jump right into it. The market was higher on the open and took no time at all to start the sell-off. We're getting selling into some strength as we're now down 17 handles right now in the S&P 500 as I'm recording this video. The VIX did the opposite. It was down in the open. It's now up. It's now at 29.55 as I'm recording this video. So we have an elevated VIX. We're at 29.55 and we're staying elevated. Now, last week I was talking about how all the headlines have a lot of traders on edge, and I mentioned as a trader, it's time to tune those headlines out. Just follow the charts, and if you're watching the charts, they're telling me everything I need to know. We're getting lower low after lower low, lower high after lower high, telling me the path of least resistance is lower. On top of that, all the indexes are below the 200-day moving average. The NASDAQ had a death cross, meaning the 50-day moving average is below its 200-day moving average. So those are not good signs, and certainly there's catalysts in the headlines out there that could move the market. But the charts are going to tell us first, and for the bulls to get back in charge, we're going to need to see a breaking of this trend. We're going to need to see some higher highs and some lower lows for that narrative to finally change. Now, I mentioned the VIX still at 30. That's still an elevated level. I mentioned the headlines that are potentially out there. We got the Fed. We got the situation in Ukraine. A lot of that can change on the snap of the fingers. So people have their heads on the swivel, and they're expecting volatility. Now, that Fed meeting I mentioned, that's happening at the end of March, and participant came into the VIX Fit today buying March weekly calls expiring after regular March expiration, expiring the 22nd of March. The 25 calls, they paid $426 for them, traded 12,000 plus times. So certainly some interest in elevated volatility around that Fed meeting. That's interesting for me to watch as we're watching all this play out on the charts. For Equity Armor Investments, I'm Joe Tigay.